You are listening to Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast.
When your heart is aching and your world is shaking, don't give up. No, don't give up.
Hello and welcome to Oh My Health, There Is Hope, the podcast. I'm your host, Jana Short. And today I'm so excited because we're here to do the second part of this amazing series with L.Y. Marlow. L.Y. is an award-winning author, multi-passionate entrepreneur, empowerment influencer who helps women confront their fears, embrace their passion, purpose, and power. And she is a powerhouse. So thank you so much for being here.
I am excited to be here. We are about to talk about one of my favorite second part is mission.
I love it. Mission's my favorite part. I mean, mindset's absolutely my favorite. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you what's coming up. They're all my favorite.
Yes. And just a 2-minute recap. We went through, for those of you that might be joining this podcast, if you have not watched or listened to segment 1 of this 4-part series, you got to go back and listen to mindset, because in mindset, I talked about being an entrepreneur, being a fierce entrepreneur, and stepping into your Sasha Fierce requires 80% mindset and 20% strategy. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. You got to listen to it to really be able to understand why now, Jana, comes what?
Mission, my favorite.
Yes. So, Jana, when I say mission, like, let me say mission, what does that speak to you? What do you think I mean by mission?
So when you say mission, the first thing that pops in my head is my purpose. Like my purpose and my passion, getting from point A to point B and being driven on a mission using that purpose and passion that I have for what I want to do.
Bingo! Yes! Yes! And here's the thing, Jana. In order to be driven to that mission, there's certain things you need to make sure you show up and execute in a way that you ensure your mission is having the impact. You're going to hear me talk about impact to the world. So I want to start by saying the first thing we're going to talk about is what it takes to master your vision, your mission, and your why. Your why. Let me talk about first your vision. Your vision, Jana, is what we might think we're supposed to be doing, right? This is the vision I have. I want to sell beautiful earrings to women. And I'm going to walk through this concept. I'm going to bring it back when I get to my why. So I was working with someone. Her vision was she wanted to make beautiful earrings for women. So the question is, there's a difference between your vision and the value. I talk about making sure that we do not misconstrue vision with value. You might have a vision, but if your vision is not bringing value, if it's not serving, if it's not giving impact, if it's not showing up in a way that is going to help connect and create community, then we don't care about your vision. Your vision has to have value. And I also say your vision has to be able to be concise enough that you can say it in 90 seconds. So your 90-second elevator speech or pitch, right? Like when you go on a Shark Tank, the first thing they walk up and they say, I want to make beautiful earrings for women, right? But it cannot be just a catchy phrase. So don't try to put a rhyme together, a poem or whatever. Your vision has to be able to create impact, and you need to be able to share it in 90 seconds or less. That is not a mission. Your vision is really your elevator pitch. and it has to have value. Your mission is the value, the objectives that you are delivering to your audience, your community, your people. And your mission has to be mission driven. It has to be mission critical. It has to serve a need, solve a problem, or create opportunities for other people and serve in a way that is going to have impact. So the fact that I want to sell earrings, it doesn't matter. So now I move my earrings, my vision. I want to make authentic earrings for women. My mission is, and the way I want to do it is, I want to curate it and I want to engage impoverished women to help me design them. Right? So there's some mission there, because you're saying you're connecting it with impoverished women. Because obviously, if you have impoverished women, you're paying them, right? So that's a great mission to have. Boom, she nailed it. Her vision was earrings. Now her mission is to have women that are impoverished help her make it so she can pay them, right? So you need to know who your audience is. Now her audience isn't just the earrings and the people who are going to buy her earrings. The people who are going to buy her earrings is just a customer. But now we move into your why. Her why is her vision. I want to make creative earrings. Her mission is, I want to make creative earrings that are designed by impoverished women. Her why is, I want to make creative earrings designed by impoverished women so they can feed their children. She is not in the business of making earrings. She is in the business of feeding starving children. You see the difference?
Oh, yeah. When you give your mission a heartbeat, it changes the whole trajectory of your business.
Absolutely. So that's why I broke down your vision, your mission, your why. Now, if I came to you and I said, Jana, for every pair of earrings you buy from me, it will feed 4 starving children. Will you buy those earrings?
I definitely would.
Because you're not just buying earrings, you're feeding 4 children. Get clear on your vision, your mission, and your why. The first step. If you're at the end of it, if you are not serving, making impact, or providing value, then you don't have a mission. I hate to be like that. You got to make sure you are feeding starving children, so to speak. That's the first.
I feel like people, that's why they quit, is because they do not connect all those parts, right? They're just out making earrings and they haven't really gotten clear on their vision, their mission, and their why, and created that purpose in what they're doing. So I love that you're sharing this right now.
Absolutely. And that's why I didn't just say, okay, you have to have a vision, create a vision statement. And then you got to realize your mission, make sure your mission is serving your community, your audience, find your target audience, and then your why. Make sure you understand why you're doing it. I didn't do that. I actually showed you the connection between, and by the time we got to her why, you were like, where can I sign up to buy some earrings? Because I want to feed 4 starving children. Now, that moves us into, what does that mean? The next step is, you got to make sure that you're making an impact to the world. That's the impact this entrepreneur is making. She's feeding starving children. So ask yourself, what impact will I make to the world? Now, you don't have to have a vision, a mission, and a why about starving children. You could be creating online courses. But let's say you're creating online courses to help people travel, right? You can still have an impact. You can still have an impact. Because your whole mission, your whole vision could be around, you know what? I want to be a travel planner. And by being a travel planner, I'm going to work with people who typically can't afford to take an exotic vacation. And I'm going to show them how they can maximize their money so that they can stop working so hard and get the self-care they need. You see how you changed the way you created your vision? Instead of, I just want to be a travel planner. So You got to serve versus sell. Say it, Jana.
Serve versus sell. Go girl.
Serve versus sell. If you serve versus sell, you will make the money. Look, hey, I said I was rationing toilet paper at one point in my life. I was eating rice and I wasn't able to pay the bills. You still have to be able to make money. I'm not saying that you got to do all this wonderful stuff so that you don't make money. Yes. But when you lead with serve versus sell, the money will show up. And then here is the biggest of all. When you know your vision, your mission, your why, you understand what impact you're making, you have to make sure you understand your unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition. And I know that sounds all fancy and smancy, and I probably wouldn't have been able to pronounce it if I wasn't in my Sasha Fierce. Remember, I don't know how to talk. Your unique value proposition is simply what is different and unique about what you're doing. You don't have to go out and create a whole new brand that's going to compete with Nike, right? You just got to make sure whatever you're doing is unique enough. So unique doesn't, people think unique means, oh, I got to go out and figure out what people aren't doing because I don't want to do the same thing they're doing. I think there are 7 billion plus people on the planet. There's enough of people around for you to serve too. You don't have to go out and recreate or reinvent the wheel. You just need to be able to articulate what is your difference and what is unique. And you got to make sure that it's going to have impact. And then finally, you show up with your no-brainer, irresistible offer. My earrings, feeding starving children, is irresistible. It's irresistible. I think I might go into the business for that because I already got one customer. Jana said she's going to buy.
Totally going to buy you. I'm going to buy you out.
And effectively, when you think of your irresistible no-brainer offer, you have to know, is it addressing a need? Is this something your customers want? Is it solving a problem? Like my earrings are solving to feed starving children. Do you know what is important to the community you're serving? And more importantly, how do you build connection and show up? All those things we talked about in mindset. I'm excited about this, Jen.
I love it because these are exactly things like one of the mindset tricks that you just used is when people have that block, especially when they're in health and wellness industry, they're healers, right? They're givers. And when they have to ask for money back and trade for their service, they start stumbling, they get unconfident, that block comes up. And when I have them change those words, you're not selling it, you're serving them with your skills, with your education as a doctor, with everything you have, you're showing up and serving. Let them give back. So it's 100%. They get so confident when they realize I'm serving, I'm showing up and serving. It isn't about sales. So I love that is one of your key little tips in here.
Yes, because that changes the whole framework, that changes your whole mindset, that changes the narrative, that changes the connection you build when you go make an ask around serving versus selling. That puts you into your Sasha Fierce.
So I have a question for you, because I think this is fascinating, and I love this. Are exactly steps that I did to build my business. It came from a purpose, a passion of wanting to make a change in the world. And so I got very clear on that. But if they're not clear, so the earring lady came to you, right? She probably wasn't clear on all that. How do they get more clarity other than taking your amazing course? Like how would they, because you really do have to have all those pieces together. That's what makes you rise above the others, is creating that kind of change in the world with whatever it is your service is that you're putting into the world. So how do they come clear on that? Mine was super easy because I knew I wanted to share a message of hope. I was in a place where I had no hope. It's kind of like feeling like you're walking to the gas chamber and you have no control and people are pushing you towards your death, right? And that was scary. It was lonely. And I see people around me without even sickness. I can see the hopelessness in them, whether it's building their business, raising their family, getting through a marriage. And I want to inspire hope that if you just hang on one more day, things change. You get to start over every single day.
Yes.
So how do they find that? Like, how do they dive in and start finding that?
Simple. I'm so glad you asked that question, because this is the part that we oftentimes forget when we step into the role of an entrepreneur. We forget what was really speaking to in the pits of our belly. Why did we start this? What was our original concept around this before it got all muddied up with all the, technical details and, the entrepreneurial stuff. And we got to think about the branding and the social media and all that. When you first decided that you wanted to do something, what did you really want to do? Even if you said, I want to start an online course. And when you uncover all the cobwebs that got clouded and crowded around it with all the other technical stuff, what was it that you wanted to do? If your course was, I want to teach Spanish to people who are interested in learning a second language, maybe you wanted to do it so you can help people communicate better with other people that are not always like them. What was the point of it? Get back to the nitty-gritty get back to the heart instead of the head of your vision. Dig back into the heart instead of the head. Start back there. Remove those cobwebs. I know, Jana, and you said, it was when you had all those limiting beliefs and everything when you became ill, and you was like, I want to give people hope. But when did hope really start for you?
Oh my goodness. So hope really started for me the moment I held my 9-week-old grandson, and I realized he would not have one memory of me, right? And there was a shift in my mindset that, like, okay, I may not live forever. I may die tomorrow. Like, they're telling me I have a few weeks, but I'm here right now. I can create a moment right now. And I literally got into the here and now, and I should not be here today. Like, nothing changed. Nothing has changed in my diagnosis, but here I am going on almost 10 years of not just surviving, thriving, and putting that message of hope out into the world. And it started with I was too sick to get out of bed when I started this. One baby step at a time. How can I show up today? What is the one thing I can do today to start building those blocks? And boom, here I am.
Absolutely. And even though you still deal with the technical stuff, the podcast and the magazine and the workshops and the community you serve, you never lost sight of holding your grandson.
Not 1 second. Not 1 second.
That's what I'm talking about. Getting back to the nitty gritty of that moment, because sometimes we let that moment get crowded out with all the other daily stuff we got to deal with.
Like, for instance, you and I were both single young moms, and it was scary. And there were times that I was going to lose my place. And in college, how am I going to make my tuition, and working 3 jobs and trying to do all the right things? And so I can see, like, mompreneurs saying, like, this is struggling, trying to build a business, trying to do something. Think about what it means to you to be able to do that, and maybe freeing them up to do the same thing you're doing and being like their voice. They're the person who's serving them. So there's so many ways of finding what that why is. If you just go back to the beginning on why do I want to do this? And who am I helping? What legacy am I leaving behind with this? Like, always leave this better than you found it, right?
Yes.
So 100%. I love mission. I told you, when people start talking about mission to me, I get goosebumps. I'm listening for those key reasons so that I can just put a mirror up to them and say, you keep saying this. Like, we keep circling back to that.
Go back to that. Get still and go back to that. When you're ready to give up, when you think it's too hard, when you get frustrated, when you get angry, that's fine. Those emotions we all have. Go back to your why. Go back to your why. Yes. Yes.
I feel like when you really root that why in, you can't leave it. It shows up every morning when you sit down, when you meet somebody, it shows up because it's so embedded in you. It becomes your new belief system, right? It shows up in everything you do and you can't shake it. And it grows, by the way, for a lot of people who created that earring business, right? Maybe the next thing she's going to do bracelets. And pretty soon she's this massive billion-dollar company feeding hundreds of kids. And it started with just one step, creating her vision, her mission, her why, and getting it out there.
Yes, I love that. Yes, yes. We are okay, Jana. We are going to come to an end on this one because where are we going next? Maximize.
But before we go, I just want to ask you a few questions because you do such an amazing job. And I know that you offer a 3-day intensive mastermind called FAST, where you help women launch their vision or business. And I just was hoping you would tell us a little bit about it and how people can connect to that.
Yes, so FAST is a 3-day mastermind that I came up with to help women step into their spheres and launch their business idea in 3 days or less. And it stands for Fast Action Success Technique. And I offer it, I actually have openings right now. I'm accepting the next cohort of women. And by the end of those 3 days, you not only have a blueprint and a roadmap, but you also have a 90-day plan because I help you launch within 90 days.
I love it. So we're going to have all those links in there. But I have one more thing I want to talk about because it's one of my favorite things you do. And it's about Monster Chicks and Skits. And I know you're launching a women empowerment theatrical phenomenon called Monster Chicks and Skits. And I was hoping you could not only tell us about it, but if someone's having a conference or an event and they want to have Monster Chicks and Skits as part of that, you see what a pistol she is now. Imagine her behind a puppet. Whoa, like magic happens. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Monster Chicks and Skits was born from the idea of my book called Don't Look at the Monsters, where I wrote about my struggles and getting clear on my why. And all these monsters, fear, worry, doubt, regret. And I had to find a way. I actually brought the monsters to life in the book. So I didn't talk about I had fear. Fear was a character. So women started to really connect with that. And I said, how can I bring this to life and use it in a way to help women confront their fears in a fun, comical way, but also inspire and empower them at the same time. So I came up with the concept for Monster Chicks and Skits, where it uses a combination of puppets, characters, and me to create conversations and connections around helping women and empower them to confront their monsters.
I love it. Again, the links will be in there. If you guys have not been able to listen to Mindset, go back and listen to that. And the next one we have coming up, again, one of my favorites, Maximize. So you'll want to catch that next episode because now we're going to be going on to the third M. So thank you so much, LY, for being with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast. Make sure to visit Jana's website, bestholisticlife.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, or listen there, so you'll never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that'll help too. Let's change the world together, one health expert at a time. Looking forward to seeing you next time.